Here are 5 devastating mistakes you should not make if you're being arrested. First and foremost, don't talk to the police. Most people in the United States, because of everything we've seen on TV and in the movies, believe that if we're arrested, we will automatically be read our Miranda rights. In fact, when you're watching TV, it sounds like those two things take place simultaneously and in every case. The reality is the police will not read you your Miranda rights unless you are both in custody and you're being interrogated. Both of those conditions have to be met. So what police officers try to do is they'll come out and start questioning you before you're placed under arrest. It might even be on 2 separate visits. But if you're under arrest or you believe you might be arrested at some point, do not talk to the police. Understand the police are smart enough to get their questioning out of the way in most cases before you're even arrested. So again, remember, if there's any threat that you could be arrested, do not talk to the police. And it's not enough to just remain silent. If you're asked questions, say, I would like an attorney, I'm not answering any questions, and I'm invoking my 5th Amendment right to remain silent. Unfortunately, there's case law that says just remaining silent is not enough. So speak up and tell them you want an attorney, you're not talking, and you're asserting your 5th Amendment rights. A second mistake to make is getting popped. Getting popped is a slang expression used by police officers. It means you pissed off the police. Pop. And when you piss off the police, they find ways to add charges. So for example, did you know Texas law allows police officers to charge you with resisting arrest if you simply make their job harder by, let's say, pulling away or twisting your body while they're trying to cuff you? A lot of times, a description as broad as you made it harder for the officer to arrest you is so open to interpretation that they can come up with a reason to add charges on you. Similarly, you can make your situation worse. So you see instances where the police say a person's being difficult, they use pepper spray, and the natural reaction of the person is, when hit by pepper spray, to start coughing, spitting, snorting. And you'll see officers file things like assault on a peace officer after using pepper spray, and the person who is blinded, coughing, sneezing, spit on the officer. And in most instances, that person has no idea where they're spitting. They're trying to get this pepper spray out of their eyes, mouth, and nose. Getting popped is a real thing. You can make your situation worse by how you respond to officers. Another mistake is to trust the officers or take them at their word. Now, it's good to be polite, to follow an officer's instruction, and if you're being placed under arrest, comply with that, because your attorney can fight about whether or not that arrest was reasonable or warranted at a later point. But don't take everything the officers say at face value, because they are allowed to lie to you during the course of an investigation. To use an exaggerated example, it would be perfectly acceptable for an officer to say, "We found a dead body and your fingerprints nearby," just to see what you would say in response to those questions, even if they've never found a dead body, but believed you might somehow be involved in the person's disappearance or death. And then anything you say as a result of their lies is still going to be used as a statement that you made. And if it's a confession or if it's a partial confession, that's certainly going to be used against you. Texas law says that after you've been arrested and processed in, you're supposed to receive 2 phone calls. Presumably you want to call a friend or a family member to try to get you out of jail, or to notify an attorney so that they can help. What you have to remember is these phone calls are recorded, and anything you say can be used against you. So if you call your mom and say, "I just got arrested for DWI, I don't know what happened, I was out drinking, I had a few drinks with my buddies and we went to their house, I had a few more there." Well, guess what? Everything you just told your mom is going to be brought up against you in the driving while intoxicated case. You can only imagine the repercussions of those recorded phone calls in even more serious cases, like felony cases. So it's not necessarily a mistake to use your phone calls. It is absolutely a mistake to talk about any of the underlying facts or alleged underlying facts. In Texas, if you're arrested for driving while intoxicated, after your arrest, the officer can ask you for breath or blood. In fact, the form that they use to request breath or blood says you've been arrested for driving while intoxicated, or suspicion of driving while intoxicated. That triggers the process by which they can get a specimen. Do not give consent to give a specimen. That's not to say you should fight a blood draw that's done on the basis of a warrant. It simply means you should not give consent to their request for you to voluntarily give breath or blood. If they get a warrant, let them draw the blood. There are ways for us to fight that, including attacking the affidavit that they used to get your blood. But if you give consent, it's very hard to argue about was that consent valid or not. So never agree to give a specimen. These are 5 of the most devastating mistakes that we see commonly occur in criminal cases in Texas. If you're charged with a criminal case in North Texas, we can help. Give us a call at 817-203-2220 or check us out online at versestexas.com. We regularly make videos about criminal law, personal injury law, and family law. So if you're interested in law, particularly in Texas or at the federal level, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification icon.